Good morning.
I can't vamp a tune. Are you kidding? On our Monday, which is Tuesday, I can't make up a tune. Hello. Welcome to the Sun Dragon Sideshow.
The Adventures of Liz and Rebecca.
I'm Rebecca. I'm like, wait, that's my turn. I'm Rebecca. I'm the owner of Sun Dragon Art and Fiber. And sunny, and maybe we're going to get a couple good days of weather before the rain comes back. Brevard, North Carolina.
I'm Liz. I mean, the minion there.
It's a mouthful, isn't it,
It
Liz?
is.
It's a pretty dress. Is it new?
No.
I always ask because
I've only worn it like once with something over the top of it.
that counts as new to me then. Close enough.
I'm like, it looks more white than, Anyway.
It's really pretty. It's got all kinds of little itty bitty pretty flowers on it. It is not your usual flare.
No.
But it is nice flare. So yes. So you wore it with something else under it?
Over.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
you like the skirt.
You like snuck it in.
Yeah.
Okay. Were you like testing out if you liked it or not?
I am still not sure.
I think it's pretty.
I was like, for the hottest day this week, I'll go ahead.
Is it going to be the hottest day this week?
Yeah.
What's the forecast for today?
It's going to be mostly sunny with like a high of 86, 87. And then
okay, life has been worse, but yes, that's hot.
And then it's going to go back into the 70s and possible chances.
For our watchers who do Celsius, I don't know how to translate that. We talked about it on Knit Night once, and there's a mathematical formula, and I don't know. I want to say that's in the 20s or 30s for Celsius or something.
It'll be in the 30s.
It's hot. Could be hotter. I know that Illinois, where my sister lives, last week or the week before hit like 100, over 100. So, and I know all you in the Southwest are going like, come on.
My family down in Texas, they've been in the
hundreds, 90s,
upper hundreds, if not 110s.
Okay, I was gonna say by upper hundreds, you mean like 109, 110, not like 190, right? Let's just be I mean, people should know, but let's be clear. Okay, nobody melted yet?
Not yet.
Okay. All right. So, this is out of the fridge. This is lovely right now. I've had my coffee, but I think I need to hydrate. I got congestion in my throat. So, hi, how is everybody doing today? What?
I'm sitting here trying to count, and I should not.
Why are you trying to count while we're filming? I mean, I know why she's trying to count. It's fun and pretty, and yes, okay.
And I left my yarn here over the weekend, so
you know I'm gonna say to that.
I know.
Sounds like a personal problem.
It was.
I left this year over the weekend, so I came back in on Monday because I was in town to get it. And I know it looks, this is my second Montana bag, and I know it looks like I've made no progress. I actually sat for like an hour or so last night and worked on it. But you got to go all the way around. Like if I spread it out like this, you got to go all the way around. And even though it's crochet, it looks like I did nothing on it because I only worked on it for like an hour last night. But I'm gonna run out of my first skein of yarn soon, and I've only made it this far. It's worsted weight. There's only like 185 yards of skein. This one that I made, DK weight, 200 something, right? Maybe closer to like 218, closer to what you'd expect from a wool worsted. It's cotton. I only need even with the bag handle and the pull tie, I only need 2 skeins of this. 1 skein is maybe going to give me another row or 2 on this. So that's a lovely like lesson in the difference between thicknesses of yarn and how far they get you.
And hooks. And
the more you know. I'm making them both with the same hook.
Oh.
I've made both of them with an E. So lesson there. No, I figure it's going to take me at least 3 of these. I'm hoping it won't take 4. Oh my Lord. But that's why we test things here, to find out. So
the joys and thrills.
The joys and thrills of owning a yarn shop. So I worked on a lot of other things though this weekend, or at least 1 or 2. So as always with our Tuesday, we get to update y'all on that. And I had some retail therapy yesterday. I got a couple new rings. This one and this one are ones I've had for a while, and these two are new. Ooh. I know for some people, this is overkill. And for me, it's yay. Although it's funny, I take them off a lot when I'm teaching. I find them distracting either to the customer or to me. So I take them off a lot while I'm teaching. And I'm sure, again, I'm sure there's people out there who are like, why bother then? Why not just leave them on or take them off? And I don't know, it's a thing.
For the 5 years I've known you, your bling is your thing.
Bling is my thing, at least here, and at least on my fingers, except for maybe 2 years, maybe a year and a half of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Especially at the beginning when we were super paranoid about germs, and we're still moderately concerned about germs. We call that moderately concerned. Others might call it paranoid. For at least the first year.
Yeah.
Maybe a year and a half. I want to say I only started wearing these after the Brian incident.
Yeah.
Like, so that's about a year and a half in.
Yeah.
Right. And then they were my comfort and my joy. So I lost one very, very important to me ring. I'm hoping it's still somewhere in my house, but I'm not holding out hope. That's why I have a new ring for that finger. If I find that one, yay. But I lost a very important one. So the ones that weren't as important were some of the ones I started to replace. And I'm gonna change it up. I'm gonna see. But I went next door to is it the Crystal Mountain Gem Mine is what it's called?
I think so.
The Gem Mine store next door. And they actually have some very pretty rings, and some of them I thought I was gonna go bigger, and most of them were too big for me, but for my personal preference. But I found some pretty ones. I'm moving from mostly silver and not stones to like just mostly stones. Anyway, that's
cool.
my personal aside for the day. I have other stories about my cat, but I'm gonna wait because yeah, they're not as exciting. So yeah, they might be kind of gross. So I'm not gonna tell them. Come to knit night. Actually, no, I think I might have grossed some people out at knit night too. So I'll just, yeah. My cat's interesting. Okay, so I almost started to tell a cat story. Wasn't a gross one, but yes. I want to see this thing that makes you want to keep going, even though it's hard to count and talk.
Left all of my balls of yarn here because I was like, oh, I'll never get done. And
then you spent all week craving working on this? What?
Well, no, I had other things to do, but I finished the skirt.
It goes with what you're wearing, Liz. We say that to people who come in the shop and pick out yarn because we can tell what colors they like.
Yep.
Look how cute
I just
that
have
is.
the shoulder straps to do.
Okay, so you did little eyelets that came down and then spread.
Yep.
And do the little, like, here, can you move a little that way? Yeah, because the microphone's almost in the way. Ta-da! And a little bit of crochet around the bottom because that's your, so it's crochet, knitting, crochet.
Yep.
And so the skirt, we're calling this the skirt?
Yeah.
Okay. And the bodice and whatever you do it. And then, so what else are you working on with this?
So I have to make 8. I only have 1 done of the shoulder straps, and they'll be.
That's super cute. Are you going to edge the shoulder straps too? Like you edge the bodice part in here?
Oh, I'll do a inside and an outside edge. And, yeah.
So I have a question.
Possible answer.
There's a safety pin in one of your
yes, that's how I know
squares.
where the front is.
I've thought so. I wanted to hear you say it. So.
I'm like, I need to remember which square is my
which
front.
square you want to be like the front center.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. So to be very clear about this,
there's no pattern.
Yes, so you knew where I was going. Will you teach people how to make this?
I can tell people how to make it.
You can tell people in general what you did, right? Not as formal as writing up a pattern.
Yes.
Just to be clear.
Crochet granny squares. As big around as, put them together, ring it, then pick up stitches, knit it, and then crochet off.
Got that? It's called personal responsibility and have fun making up stuff.
The
experiment.
that's all it is experiment. And then like with the eyelets and the increases, it was like I just played with it. So
And the yarn is Fiber Spates Vivacious 4-ply, right?
yes.
And you've got some of the Everglade. Is that Everglade there? Are you adding that into the shoulder straps, or is that already in?
Well,
oh yeah, it's already. I missed it. Because some of the colors are inspired by colors I'm using in my thing here.
Yeah.
And some of them are not. So
I helped pick colors for your sweater. And then she started doing the little squares and I went, ooh.
And then you tried like 6 million.
I
exaggerate. She tried a few different other squares and didn't like them. So she's using the same squares as me. So,
which in my Pinterest surfing, I found this square that somebody else had done for a different square pattern. And there was a couple of differences, but like pick a universal square pattern. There's granny squares out the wazoo. So, you know. But then it's finding the right hook to make it look the right way. And, you know,
it's what we call trial and error in the business.
And so far I'm using 2 different hook sizes, a 10.5 needle. Yeah.
I'm using 2 different hook sizes for mine too. Like the thing I was doing, I think I showed y'all this, the inspiration for her to try something fun. So how you can take the same motif and do very different things with it. Is I have one side of this done, right?
That looks so cool.
And then, it's going to be so kind of hodgepodgey interesting. This I'm just but see the center of these is the same as hers. And supposedly these in the center here are the same size right now. I'm still working on this. That's as far as I've gotten so far. This one I need to keep working on. I brought it home to work on it. I didn't touch it all weekend. It was one of those weekends. So, but this, I think I got more done on during the week here at the shop than y'all had seen before. It mirror images this one, which I'm holding upside down. Ta-da! This one's going to go ta-da! And it's combinations of the same colors, but you can see that the peacock in this is not in this side. So there's a little bit of difference, right? And this one doesn't have the gecko green in it so much, but
that's what I like about the Fiber Spates is all the colors in the palette.
All the colors are awesome and they kind of go with each other. I've got a little fray here. I've had so many times lately the cat has just plopped on my stuff and started kneading it. And I'm like, I'm just going to have fuzzies and pulls and I'm going to do my best with it. And like, if I ever finish my cousin's wedding blanket, I'm going to tell him it has been well loved. I hope you're not allergic to cats.
It's true.
Yeah. So
I also,
if he is, give it away to someone who isn't, and they'll love it forever. Yes.
I also redid and started over my Impossible Papillon.
Yes. Let's move to that one next. I just brought this one up because it kind of related to your first one. She's doing cute stuff. We talked about the Impossible Papillon on Wednesday, and then I don't think we talked about it on Thursday. So we need to remind everyone what this is.
I love the Papillon. I haven't done a Papillon in a while, or finished one in a while. So I was like, hey, you know those Impossible puzzles that are all one color?
Jigsaw puzzles.
Yeah. Why not do an Impossible Papillon out of like black yarn?
I was gonna say all one color,
one color, never change.
So tell me about the odyssey of this, because I mean, we can look at it, and actually if you hold it up against your white dress, we might I don't know if we're gonna see. I see when she holds it up the light shining through it. Ooh, I want to try something. Hold it up again.
Yeah.
Hold it. No, it's not really going to show. I was trying to show people where the stitches kind of, maybe I can do it with a different lamp. The stitches shift in different directions. Like I can tell that the stitches are shifting in different directions, even though it's one color, like where the short rows are and things like that. But she's doing it out of just black.
Just black. I picked, okay. So last week, Friday, I think I started it during knit night, I think.
You originally picked a different
I
yarn, right?
originally picked Aini, and then, you know, in typical Liz fashion, I put it on a 10 needle, and you couldn't tell because it was so light. And I was like, okay, this is not working. So I pulled that out.
Was it
And
the stitch definition or just the openness of the stitches
it
or
was
everything?
kind of both. It was like so open, and Aini's kind of a very floppy yarn. Aini is gorgeous, and I have done papillons out of Aini. You have done
I
papillons
have
out of
too.
Aini.
It's really pretty.
It's gorgeous, but if you're not changing color,
it
it kind of doesn't work. So I went back to one of my staple worsted weights, which is Barocco Ultra Alpaca. And
half wool, half alpaca, very pretty.
yeah, it's when you look at it flat on the table or close to it, you can see the different directions that everything's going, but it's all black, so it's gonna be fine.
She's enjoying herself, apparently.
I finished stripe 4 in section 1 yesterday. So
I'm on stripe 3 on mine. I started a new one. I put Liz under all kinds of pressure because we had our Papillon class, the first session of our Papillon class. And most of the people who were doing it, like, we didn't get very far because I like to talk a lot about the concept and how to demystify the pattern. So half the class was just talking about stuff, and then we started doing it. And I made Liz, I wanted to start one, and I didn't pick out yarn before the class started, which was silly.
it could be a new competition, but you're not winning.
I'm not addressing a competition here.
No, it could be because we both started new ones.
Yeah, but since I won't win, it's not. No, but I wanted to make one out of a neutral color, and I was thinking about the pink and green. I'm still thinking about that one, but can't use up all my inventory. But as the class was starting, I was like, here's another neutral color. It's got some oranges and some light grays. It's all very pale. And I said, Liz, pick me out a contrast, because I was picking a contrast for that, for the pink and green, and we couldn't decide. And I knew my customers were waiting for me, and I was like, so I made Liz go, and I made her pick a contrast for this. And I said, my whole point in starting one, I'm like, if I start another one, because I've got a neutral one going on right now, is to make one that doesn't have a neutral contrast. That was kind of my goal. And then I threw Liz under the bus and made her pick one. So she picked this really bright purple.
Part of the reason I picked the really bright purple was because you didn't want it to look like Halloween with the dark purple.
Well, and I don't know if the dark purple would have looked like Halloween, but I get it. It would have looked like your Halloween.
It would have looked like my butterbeer one.
Yeah, which is fine. But so I made her wind this then, all frustration and everything. Like, I just kept putting tasks on her on Saturday. Then I started it, and I was looking at the second section thinking it looked funny. So I took out the third section. I'm on the fourth, actually.
Ooh, we're tied. It could be a competition.
It's not going to be, though. I have no energy and no time right now. But I wasn't counting my sections right, because that little stripe is the first one. So the first red and orange square section, I was up to that by the time I made a backwards loop increase video yesterday, and I thought it looked funny, so I backed it out, one stitch at a time, because I had no lifeline in, and redid it, and it looks the same. I don't think I messed up. I think that one is just a little off kilter, but in the grand scheme of the Papillon, it won't be noticeable. But I'm glad I'm getting to where it's getting a little, I'm trying to, like, okay, maybe if I hold it, no. I'm gonna hold it upside down, because then it'll spread out the best. I'm glad I'm getting to where it's getting a little more orange, because it started where it was gray, and I was like, "Nyeh." Like, it's okay, but
I do like the dahlia.
I like this is the dahlia rather than a really, really dark purple. It's a bright purple. I think it's really fun. So Liz is a master at picking out colors. I'm not going to say she's infallible at picking out colors, but she's pretty darn good. I personally have never been disappointed with a color combo she has picked out. Ta-da! Oh, that reminds me of another part of the email I got. Someone signing up for class.
Oh,
so okay, I'll remember. Anyway, ta-da! So I'm starting another Papillon. This is again another Perth one. It's my favorite for just color changing. And I've already showed y'all this one, and I don't think I've gotten any further on it than the last time I showed it off, especially if I hold it upside down like this. I'm in section 3 of my moth one with the yarn that, where's the center? There's that center that has, the yarn has 3 different sections, and I'm using one section for each section of the main section of the Papillon. So it's not color changing per se, but it's kind of blocked colors for different sections. So we can see how her Impasa Papillon goes as my next Papillon goes. I have so many projects on needles though. I'm exhausted just thinking about it. And I was going back through old posts for a reason that doesn't need to be discussed recently. And some of the projects that are still sitting in a heap in my filming room, I had either started or was working on like a year and a half ago. They're still sitting there, not finished. Like I have finished projects, right? I have finished. I finished some socks. I finished some sweaters. But I would say it's a good chance I've only finished 30% of the projects that I've started in, you know, the past, especially since say the pandemic began. I've finished some projects. I've started a lot more than I finished though. So,
well, like for me, I'm up over 170 projects on needles. And I've probably
don't think I'm that bad.
You're not. You're getting closer, but you're not there yet.
Yeah.
I think I might have finished because I find that it takes, I have to start so many projects to figure out what I'm really interested in. And then like, I don't know, with the past few weeks, I'm just like, I'm bored.
Well, see, I get bored, but I really want to finish stuff because I never know what's going to inspire you all.
And
I will tell you how to do it or try to teach a class on it. So I'd like to finish it. But yeah, like I was putting my newsletter out this week and I'm trying to plan ahead for classes, and maybe only two project classes a month right now is what I'm comfortable easing back into. And as we plan all these knit alongs or crochet alongs, that makes the first option easy. It's probably going to be, I don't want to say always, but it's probably going to be whatever we're doing a knit or crochet along, introducing that month. But then the other thing to teach, I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I think the Papillon was a good one for this month. It means next month, let's see, next month we're doing the brioche bandana cowl. That will be one of our classes because that's the knit along we're starting, which by the way, I need to start my sample on. And it's buried under there, but I want to use Yarn Babies combo that is just so pretty. I know I'm making socks out of The Mountains Are Calling and the White Squirrel Shuffle, but I think I'm going to have to make a brioche cowl too.
I think so.
Because I think it's seeing the yarn in a very different format. So I think it still works. So that's one class, but then I was pondering as I'm writing the newsletter, so what's the crochet class next month going to be? I don't know. We've got the log cabin, the super simple log cabin shawl in September. And then I have to figure out a knitting pad. There's a lot that goes into this.
So the log cabin shawl, I'm doing the scrappy one.
Yeah.
And then I
don't think either of us have them here at the moment. So
no,
we can bring them
over
in.
That way.
Mine's over that way too. We can show them maybe on Thursday or something. But what?
I have all of these balls of fiber space
left from making your other thing.
From making my other thing. So I was thinking about scrappying in the fiber space,
which is cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my conundrum. Okay, I'm bringing up several conundrums right now. I like the big words. So there's picking a second. Like I have so many things in the shop that I've made during COVID, but which ones do I want to offer? We'll see. So that's one of my conundrums. If anyone has suggestions, let me know. I will add them to the list. I won't guarantee that they will be, I'll be like, that's perfect, but I could, who knows? The other one is, so when we get to the log cabin, which is a crochet along, And I mentioned in passing, maybe I'll make kits. And I've already had at least one customer saying, so these kits. And the struggle I'm having with even the sample I'm making is if you really want concrete stripes, at some point as they get bigger, you're going to run out of yarn. So how big should these kits be? And do you want a kit as big as the one I'm going to suggest you buy? Because everyone's got their own budget, and that depends on the size you want the shawl to be. And you can pick a different thickness of yarn if you want. So I might make a kit or two based off of what I'm trying, but kits are hard when I mean, for the brioche bandana cowl, kits are easy. 2 colors, different thicknesses. There's 3 different thicknesses for the pattern. So 2 colors, we can bust some of those out, no problem, which is good because August is coming. We at some point need to do that. I have to find the energy. We're going to work on that. Energy, what's that? You just keep going until you pass out, right?
Yeah.
No, so the log cabin one is a little bit dicier because the pattern writer doesn't suggest a certain amount of yarn, but that's partially because she used a massive amount of yarn with a different color for every single stripe. And that's like 17 colors. And we're not going to make kits with only that balled off, because what if you want to put them in a different order and you'll need a different amount of yarn, and 17 skeins of yarn is a lot. So I'm going to recommend you pick out your own yarn, or you ask us to help curate you a bundle, knowing that it might be hard to guess based on your gauge and how big you want the shawl to be, how much yarn to sell you.
I like you and your color blocks that you're doing.
I did rainbow.
Yeah, and you can only get so many blocks out of one ball of DK.
I've hit the point where I went like red out and then purple out, so reverse on the other side. And I had enough yarn to get through all the colors once. I had to supplement one color, or there'd be a V of overlapping color with any combo that I picked. And then I said, well, maybe I'll go backwards now out through the colors. Like I'll reverse the rainbow, but it's already getting long enough that like the second stripe of orange, there's not enough. So it's after the color coordinated rainbow, it might just be, I'm going to throw in random colors, and I'm still not going to have enough though. I might, if the ones that did the short stuff up top are the ones doing the big stuff down bottom, but that either means maybe repeating colors, maybe like going in the same order, or like I got to experiment, or just using whatever I have a lot of yarn of. I'm trying to not go over those like 6 or 7 colors though. And that means the shawl's going to be done soon because I'm going to run out of enough to do a stripe. So
I found with the scrappy one that I'm doing, they're all little 25-ish gram balls that you got as a shop sample, or as a sample for stuff to bring in that we may or may not.
Vendors trying to entice me.
And in the beginning, 25 grams was more than enough to do a block, and I'd even have leftovers. And now,
which is like what, 6 rows or something, or 8 rows? One of those.
6 rows. Yeah. And now I'm like, I'm running, and it depends on the thickness, like early on I had 25 grams of a worsted that ran out, and
because that's the less yardage with a thicker yarn for the same like weight.
And so
on a scale,
it gets how much do you want to commit to this color wise,
and how much are you comfortable with? Maybe a stripe isn't just one color. Are you okay with something changing? Like you've got enough variation in yours that maybe someone wouldn't notice. I'm using like solid color blocking, so it would be noticeable, but am I okay with that? I don't know. So,
and I will weigh my scrappy balls to see how much I have of the fingering weight and see how far I get with.
That could work though for the bigger spots in it.
Yeah.
It would start being consistent in terms of texture, but
well, I'm not throwing this. It's going to be a separate one.
Then it will be consistent in terms of texture and not a shift. Aha.
I don't know. My scrappy one is just not calling to me.
I have to show this off. I finished the body.
Yes.
To finish, I have to show this off before we go.
Yes.
The one thing I did work a lot on this weekend. Oh, isn't that pretty? Look at that.
It is so
I'll show it from
cool.
the side. Is my Fading Diamonds cardigan, and it's fading as in like it from the bottom up. If you think about them fading out, they get more complicated as you go down. I don't know if I have enough yarn left to do the sleeves though, because like, okay, this is like all I have left of maybe my 4th skein. And I think I set aside 6 skeins for this. And the torso is long, but I don't know if like 1 skein each for a sleeve is going to be enough. There are more over there. I might have to like keep all of that color in reserve. I don't know.
It could, because I always have leftovers. No, when I did my on a bigger needle, I have leftovers on my worsted weight. So
okay,
from a ball each.
I'm gonna find out. So but this isn't it lovely? It's like almost a duster. Excuse me. And
ooh, that is pretty.
It's nice. It's nice and long. I went just as long as the pattern said to. The armholes look big and floppy. They'll tighten up a little bit as I and I can shift this a little. But the armholes should tighten up a little as I put the sleeves in. But honestly, I like the size. It's not designed to have buttonholes.
Oh, that's your pocket. I was like, what is, oh, it's your belt. I was like, something is sticking out through your stitches.
It's something. My alien popping out the side.
It looked like something was wonky, and I was
weird.
like, oh,
it was. It's, you make the band on the cardigan as you go. This is stretching a little because it's this cotton stuff. The whole point of me making this was to have a cotton cardigan and not a plant fiber cardigan rather than an animal fiber one. So because the fuzziness of animal fiber can make things feel hot during the summer. So when the breeze is kicking up out there, or if it was a cool summer night, I could wear this outside. Spring and fall, I think too. Look how long that is.
I like it.
Oh, yeah, my bum's big, but anyway. I mean, the drape is so excellent on this. You can see my pockets kind of like molding through this, but that's okay. So yeah, one skein per sleeve could work. I don't think it's going to. So I might put aside and take off the market the rest of this color because it is a discontinued color. I was super excited when I just got a shot in the mirror and posted it. And Jody Long, who makes this yarn, like their company, like reposted on Facebook and showed it off. And I had to just be like let go of my insecurities and say, yay, they reposted me. That's so cool. Because I was like, I look at if I'm at an angle like this to show it off, and I have to not think about how wide I am, because I know there are wider people in the world, but we are our own worst critics. So I am super excited about this. And again, I think I've used about 4 skeins on the body of this, but the body is really long. So, and look, the simple diamonds up here, and it gets more complex down there. Sweet. Oh, I'm loving it. I'll put the link for this in the description. I think it's written for a bulky, and this is like between a worsted and a bulky, but the stitch definition is great. Then I'm knitting on a size 9 needle for the body. I think it would also be absolutely lovely in like our La Pampa or ultra wool chunky, like if you want this for a cozy winter cardigan, I think it would be lovely as well. And I talked with the designer when I first picked up the pattern. It was a little, the formatting was a little chonky, and she has reformatted it. And she's like, so you can pick the size you want. Like it's broken down into every couple of sizes, has their own set of instructions. And I think that's awesome. I have just been following mostly the written instructions, but she's got charts too. And I'm finding them very easy to follow. So, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I want to say there's nothing else I made a huge part because I really want to finish something. And this is not the one that's closest to being finished. My no frills sweater by Petite Knits, where I'm holding the mohair and the fingering weight together. I only have 1 sleeve to go. I think I have a sleeve done on that. So it technically is closer to being finished than this one, but this one is right for the season. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
You probably know where I'm headed, but stay tuned. I am not sure about doing these sleeves 2 at a time. It might make sense to, it might not. I could go either way on it because the sleeves also have diamonds that get more complex. And if I'm doing one row twice, in some ways that makes sense. And then that will also help me know if I'm going to run out of yarn. So I might try to set them up 2 at a time. You were about to say something.
At this point, with all the intricate, and I mean, it's
the
not
more intricate something gets, the less
it's
likely
not
I am
like
to do it 2 at a time.
super, super intricate,
Yeah.
but it is. It's kind of one of those, is it, but is it, you know, there is a great pattern and it's not a complicated pattern, but it's one of those you kind of need to pay more attention. And if your edge of your sleeves has diamonds or whatever in it, it's going to be harder to do 2 at a time on 2 circulars. Like, you know,
it might get a little wonky.
Yeah.
And since there's such a regular pattern to it that if you follow the instructions, the only issue would be if I need to shorten the sleeves because I have short arms. But if I'm just following the pattern and ending it early, I can mark what row I ended it on. The sleeves, actually, there's a better chance with this pattern that the sleeves come out the same size than if there was no pattern and I did them 1 at a time.
Yeah.
So that may be, and I'm going to hang on to this little gem in case. The one thing about doing it 1 at a time, 2 at a time, would be if I run out of yarn, I'll know. But I know anyway because I did my ribbing on these really long cable because it's what I had at my house of 7s. I have 2 balls set aside for this. I will see how far 1 ball gets me on 1 sleeve. And I'll know, you know, if I need another ball or what.
I'm like, pretty sure 1 ball is going to be.
We'll see. I don't know. We'll test it. It's another reason for me to keep working on this. So I think, yeah, like I was saying, I'm looking down in here. I think that is all I have to talk about today. And we only have like 8 minutes until the shop should be open. So I think that's actually a good time to stop. Don't you think? Maybe?
We're over 1,100 viewers.
At least we were at exactly 1,100, like, which shows up, like, it doesn't tell you the people, the tens, like, it only tells you the tens right now that we've hit 1,000, which is awesome. Thank you so much. I can see on the back end, like the individual numbers, and y'all get to only see the, like right now it'll be like 1.1K, woo, and it might go 1.12 or something, or 1 when we get to that point, but it won't tell you more specifics than that. But so if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing to our channel because it's fun to see it grow. We've plateaued a little bit, but it's okay.
Bell, yeah,
it's okay. It's all good. We love that people are enjoying us. Yes, and subscribing, ringing the bell for notifications, liking, commenting, all are ways to help us without spending a dime. If you would like to support the shop, we recommend going to patreon.com/sundragon and signing up for a monthly subscription there. Or you can, or you could buy some yarn from the shop, but not everyone's going to do that. That's okay. I keep like hovering the idea of memberships over here, which would be like a monthly subscription over here. But we haven't figured out the tiers yet. And Patreon, you stick with us for 3 months, no matter what, you get swag, even if it's like a sticker from us or something, or from Patreon that we've designed, up to like a mug or a bag or hoodies or things like that. Stick with us for 3 months over there. Anyway, Sit and Stitch tonight, virtual Sit and Stitch from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come join us. I will say, like, I don't tend to have a whole lot of energy. The social media post, I caught Avi like just starting to yawn. He was like, or I'm like, yeah, that's me. Trying not to yawn on camera at Sit and Stitch. We all like to contribute at Sit and Stitch, and we just try to make sure there's room for everybody to chat and talk and share the joy of letting other people talk too. That's sit and stitch. It's fun. How do people get into Zoom? What do they do,
With the
Liz?
shop phone number 828-877-3550.
And it's okay if sometimes we're not very chatty and we're just hanging out in each other's presence. That's okay too. So
it is funny because when we were doing the 3-hour ones, you like the first hour, so from 6 to 7, you were like
just decompressing.
And now for the first hour, you're just decompressing.
I might get an hour of knitting in, maybe. Tomorrow morning, well, first of all, when we film, we'll be doing the VSC with new things we're going to put on sale. And then we have in-person sit and stitch. If you want to come sit outside the shop and hang with us and chat, we still want masks in the shop. And when we gather, we try to gather outside to be as safe as we can. Let's see. Thursday is Dear Becky and Lizzie. So if you have, I feel like I'm wearing this like this vest thing right now, which yeah, I could bind off the sleeves and have it be, I want the sleeves. Squirrel. Thursday is Dear Becky and Lizzie. If you have any questions you want us to wax philosophical on that relate to knitting and crochet, then please, you can write us at 35 South Broad Street, Brevard, North Carolina, 28712, or you can email
Liz at sundragonartandfiber.com.
all spelled out, and it's fun. Friday, we have virtual sit and stitch again. We don't film on Fridays. And then I have a crochet class. The Mountain Trail Cowl is the crochet class this weekend, which should be lots of fun. There's still a little bit of room in that class.
And then Sunday.
Oh, that's right.
Sunday.
This Sunday is our monthly virtual sit and stitch all afternoon. Anytime you want to chime in or join us from 1 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday, July 17th, my mom's birthday. It's on Facebook Live. You don't have to do any codes. Just go to our page and see what's going on. Or you can come kind of more in person in the virtual sense to Zoom. And that again is with the shop phone number.
828-877-3550.
We'll keep reminding you all week that that's coming up, but that is on Sunday. Thank you. I put that in the newsletter and I forgot it already. Life is fun. Okay. So we got to go open the shop. We hope y'all are doing well. We love to hear from y'all, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.